Thank you guys for joining us today. Another ITWeb webinar where we are talking about ransomware defense for evolving compliance. Now, ransomware is evolving. It is still, in many ways, the idea of getting onto your systems and encrypting your data and then demanding a ransom. But there's a lot more happening out there. You're now seeing double and triple extortion. You're seeing a lot of data still being leaked out there. There's, of course, the crippling of organizations, and they're using various advanced techniques to do this. But what is becoming more obvious as well is that ransomware is exposing organizations to significant legal, reputational, and financial consequences. And why this is very important for you guys out there in South Africa and in other African countries is African organizations are increasingly becoming the testing grounds for many of these new attacks.
We don't care that ransomware is a known bad or an unknown strain of ransomware. We're looking for the telltale signs of that illegitimate activity. So obviously, when encryption takes place, what it will do is alter the file header regardless if it's a known bad extension, unknown extension. So it alters that file header, so changes around the bits and the bytes. And that is what we are detecting against that illegitimate sign of encryption. And it's also down to the speed of which encryption will take place. So obviously a cyber criminal, the whole nature for them. So that's the speed of encryption where ransomware could encrypt up to 50,000 files per minute. And this is where we are containing it, limiting that damage. What I'm going to do now is run a really old ransomware. So this is the .WannaCry, which you may be aware hit our NHS here in the UK some years back. What we're basically highlighting at this stage is that we don't care if that ransomware was released today, in the future, or in the past. What we are looking for is the telltale signs of that illegitimate activity. So if I go ahead and hit attack, now what this is doing is going encrypting that local OneDrive store, and with that built-in synchronization process, these files are now going to be uploaded into the cloud with that .WannaCry extension. So for us to be able to do that, we just need to make sure RC has the trust, which is utilizing existing Microsoft technology, which then allows us to monitor everything that sits underneath that SharePoint umbrella. So these are your team sites, OneDrive sites, and any SharePoint sites you may have. It's exactly the same with Google Drive. We just need to create a Google project, which gives us the visibility of the sites or the data that gets uploaded into that cloud scenario. So if I go back to my dashboard, as you can see, we've reached that 100% alert level. We know the type of breakdown. In this case, we have detected on multiple sensors. More importantly, again, we have identified that individual. So as you can see, this device is now in the process of being isolated, like you saw on the first simulation. So the reason I can shut this device down is because this is domain joined. But obviously from a cloud perspective, a lot of users may be accessing the cloud remotely. So they may be using a home device or a mobile phone to access that. That doesn't matter, although we won't be able to see the device to isolate it, but because we have the trust in the cloud, we can still see that individual. We can still put the necessary isolation steps in place to quarantine that account to stop any further synchronization.
So if you want to find out how your current security stack reacts when encryption actually happens in your environment, then you can take that test. It's very easy to do. You need a workstation and a server, and it's done completely safely. And we need 2.5 hours of your time. And my biggest recommendation is to invest that time so you don't get caught out and land in one of these bad scenarios where you use billions. So it's important to understand that absolutely everybody that has data, intellectual property, anything like that is a ransomware target. It doesn't matter how small or how big you are. Although you have multi-layered defenses in place today, perimeter and preventative security on its own is just not enough. You do need something that can contain an attack when they're on the inside and they've disabled all of your other security. And you need tools that can do rapid detection and isolation, because if you don't, your restoration efforts will take a lot longer than if you do. And that's where you're losing most of the money, to be completely honest about it.
Thank you very much for your time today. Great to have all the questions and all the comments. We will see you at the next one. But with that, please stay safe. Stay secure out there, and really just don't use those weird dongles or click on those weird links. So thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.